It all started in March of 2020. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs, including myself. People were forced to stay inside and businesses were forced to close. We all lost some of our favorite local businesses, but we also saw many new ones move in. In April of 2020, I created the Instagram account known today as Support Local Milwaukee. That Instagram account quickly became a Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok account. Then I built a website with events, collaborations, partnerships, a business directory, and local business resources. I even created Support Local Milwaukee branded swag, and guess what? People bought it. Then it hit me. Not only did I create a support local business community, I created a movement. Hi, I'm Marley, and I'm the founder and CEO of Support Local Milwaukee. Support Local Milwaukee raises awareness and support for local businesses in and around the Milwaukee area. We strive to elevate local collaboration, unify neighborhoods, and come up with new creative ways to bring businesses to locals. But why? Why are local businesses important? Especially during a time like right now, local business survival is important for the culture of the city and also for the health of the local economy. Did you know 2021 local shopping statistics show that $9.3 billion or more would be directly returned to our economy if every U.S. family spent just $10 a month at a local business? Small businesses alone donate 250% more than large businesses to community causes. Small businesses also employ 58.9 million people. They also generate $68 of local economic return for every $100 spent with them. But why is this important? What's next? I need to build a team. For just over a year, I have been running and operating Support Local Milwaukee. In order to grow effectively, I need a team with me, not only to wear cool Support Local Milwaukee swag, but we need them to grow effectively and also to help me with the following. I would like to build out a business directory and offer resources such as job postings, internships, and volunteer opportunities within the local Milwaukee area. I would like to have announcements on important PSAs and local business resources that are out there. I would also like to build out a business directory to serve as almost a one-stop shop local business guide. I would also like to start a two-part activation series. The first is a traveling event pop-up series, which would be in all of Milwaukee's neighborhoods. And the purpose of this is to bridge the gap and highlight all of Milwaukee's local businesses within different areas and neighborhoods of Milwaukee. Second, I would also like to do a winter pop-up series. I want to keep both the virtual and in-person events going, especially throughout the winter, as winter can be a hard hitter on Wisconsin local businesses, as we all know. But how will we profit? Through event sponsorships, community partnerships, local business partnerships, grants, and growth. And by growth, I mean eventually expanding throughout the state. Support local Wisconsin. But why is this worth the investment? Supporting local businesses isn't just a fad. In 2020, the amount of money spent on Small Business Saturday alone was down 65% from 2019. For the local shops still standing, the overwhelming support of consumers definitely help, but will that be enough? Just over 82% of consumers say they'd spend more to support local businesses after the pandemic. Support Local Milwaukee will provide a one-stop shop for those wanting to support local businesses in the area, and will also provide the opportunity for local businesses to hire, grow, and thrive. There is work to be done, and Support Local Milwaukee wants to keep the momentum going. We are here to help the community and to keep the movement alive. My name is Marley, and I am the founder of Support Local Milwaukee. I believe in two things: the power of digital marketing and the power of supporting local. Thank you for listening.
Great job, right on the money for time. You guys have been very impressive on your timing skills.
I told you I've been practicing.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Really great job, Marley. It just occurred to me that not everyone would take the leap, into entrepreneurship, or even just into this space, into kind of a hard space in terms of making money after losing their job. So can you tell us a little bit about why you did that, how you did that? How'd you decide to do that?
Yeah, well, it definitely wasn't easy. I've been through a lot of low points in my life, but when the pandemic hit and I lost my job, I have a passion with digital marketing, and my full-time job was just that. And when I lost that, I felt like I lost everything. And I was living in Third Ward at the time, and 889 Stone Creek was my favorite coffee shop. I love Stone Creek. I love 889. It was more of all the business professionals would kind of meet and get to know each other there. And I would go there every single day, even when I was laid off, and buy a $5 cup of coffee. I'm literally not kidding. And what I would do is I would walk around Third Ward, and it would just help me cope. It would help me, not be depressed. It would help me at my anxiety. And as I was walking, I noticed at points I was the only one on the street. Businesses weren't even open or operating. They had "we're closed" signs. We're closed indefinitely. People were peeling their logos off of buildings, and it hit me. And I wanted to help these businesses, and I wanted to help them in a way that I knew best, which was digital marketing. And I also found that it was hard for me to, if I wanted to support someone, it was hard for me to just find one streamlined way of doing so. There was Facebook groups that would pop up when people would recommend something, but if I wanted to go back, it'd get lost in feeds. Google hours were never updated, so it would say these are open when they were closed, or they would say it's closed when they were open for a couple hours. And so what I did is I started on Instagram because that's my favorite platform. And the social media marketer in me was like, let's do all platforms, let's build a website and go for it. And literally a year later, we have almost 6K followers on Instagram alone. And the community, I felt like it almost accepted us. And by us, I always speak in the we because, manifestation. But the community has just completely accepted us and Support Local. And we started a movement, and it's been amazing, but definitely not easy. And I always do speak on, I kind of did this backwards. Like in the middle of a pandemic, I started something that now is one of the most important things in my life. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having no money coming in, and but anywho.
Well, you listen to that little spark, right? You
for
listened to
sure.
that and built the thing that you needed. So
Yes,
that's awesome. What has the feedback been from local businesses that you've worked to support?
Yeah, so we've actually done several events and partnerships. Our first event was called the Fall Crawl, and we partnered with the Milwaukee Public Market and Yelp. And then we partnered with Third Ward local businesses. We partnered with 30 to 40 local businesses within the Third Ward. And it was during when we were it was in October, November time. So it was during the Halloween bar crawl. And in my mind, I was like, what if we can do that same event aspect of the bar crawl, but for local businesses? And we can offer both virtual and in-person events because you're tailoring to two types of people. And it turned out to be amazing. And of course, once you get the ball rolling on one idea, that led to our Scroll and Stroll event. And we partnered, that was on the east side. So we partnered with Downer, Eastside Bid, Yelp again, and the Kind Oasis, and then all those local businesses within that area. And we did the same thing. We did local events, virtual events. And the local businesses right now, when they find me, they go, thank you so much for helping. And we just provide those free marketing tools, almost a voice for businesses, because when they had to pause and pivot and reimagine that new customer base, they don't have time to build the website. They don't have time for social media marketing. Some of them didn't even have an Instagram. And I think that brought a new light to digital and how important it is to market yourself. And so I want to be that resource. And I hate saying one-stop shop, but that is the best way I could explain it. just to have one area people can go to and can recognize, businesses they want to support. So.
Awesome. I just want to invite any of the judges, if there's any questions that judges have before we get to our last entrepreneur. Yeah, Kelly, go
Yeah,
ahead.
not to be a broken record. It's actually on the sheet, so I'm asking a question. So about competition
Yeah.
and yours, I'm really curious about from
Yeah.
your funding source being event sponsors, grants, etc. Sounds very familiar in my chamber world. So
Yeah.
curious how you see your role with existing entities like that in the community.
Yeah. So I believe, like I said, I believe in two things, but I guess there's a third. And that third thing would be collaboration. So in that sense, I mean, I opened my eyes and eventually want to partner with someone like Visit Milwaukee and MKE downtown and be almost an asset to them. Because if you look at something like USA Today, they have, local business series, they have a directory. A lot of people adapted that, and a lot of, Milwaukee staples did the same thing. Journal Sentinel, local business directory. They wanted to attract or help the local businesses in the area because they realize how important that is to the culture of the city, but also the economic impact of the city. So in terms of competition, I mean, I guess that's kind of, it depends on what we're talking about. For instance, like I wanted to do the jobs and the internships, right? I'm not sure if you know of Big Shoes Midwest, where they post like marketing and creative roles and everything like that. That is kind of what made this idea happen. I wanted to just put everything into one because local businesses, so like Meat on the Street was hiring for someone to work their food truck, right? And I saw it in the Instagram feed. But if they post something like that on Indeed, what are the chances that someone in the local area is going to find that, right? So what if we put something to where they're not constantly competing with the bigger market? Like, let's give them their own market. Let's give people who are looking for locals and wanting to support locally, let's put that all in one spot and let those people and just attract them constantly, right? Instead of having them constantly compete in finding jobs, finding internship, finding volunteer opportunities. That opens it up to local organizations, especially in the Milwaukee area. And I could probably talk your ear off about this all day, but it can easily expand throughout the state too, and through other states. And it's almost like, I can't believe it isn't happening already. The more ideas I come up with, it's just, I'm just going to stop talking now.
Great. We have another question and then we got to keep going. So Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah, can you recap? This is really exciting. So thank you for your presentation. Can you just do a recap on how you earn your revenue? So I know you sold swag and that was part of it, but what's your business model for earning revenue?
Yeah, I'm happy you said that. So there's a lot of parts to it. So I'm just going to say I built out a business directory, but what I'm currently working on now, I'm in 4M with the MKE Tech Coalition. And what I'm working on right now is a subscription-based partnership for local businesses. Visit Milwaukee kind of does something similar, where they work with like event contractors, local businesses within the area, et cetera, for event setup, which is basically like at something as $5 a month, you get local business directory listing, job posting, internship posting, and then volunteer organization posting, something like that. So it's just building those steps like that. And then with the event series, eventually I want to get enough partnerships so that the event is free for the local vendors or offered at like $10 for a vendor spot or $15 per vendor spot, and just pop up within that and keep it a rotational series. Milwaukee's Makers Market does that. They charge a small fee for these vendors and they kind of just rotate on through. So that is another way of doing so. The swag was just something that I love branding, and the brand didn't really come together until I had my logo. And once I had my logo, I was like, let's slap it on a t-shirt. Let's slap it on a mug. Let's get this Milwaukee presence going. And so that's how I plan on making revenue. So
Great, thanks. And thanks for taking the leap.
Yeah, thank you.